Okay, I'm going to do a part 2 to this one today. And I just wanted to talk about, let's see, the CERN. That's something that I've been thinking about and studying about, and it's pretty, I don't know if you guys, it's pretty intense. I don't know if you guys have read about what the CERN is. I advise that you go on DuckDuckGo, not Google, and Google up stuff about the CERN. Also, I have some videos on my Facebook, and I'm making a video about it, but I don't actually have like the pictures and imagery that I'd like to show. But, you know, pretty much the CERN, it's in Switzerland. It's beneath the ground, miles beneath the ground, and it's like, you know, a particle fusing. It's a machine that splits like atoms, particles, and it's dealing with just like pretty much them playing God with particles. And it is nothing good. They're actually going to plan to turn the CERN on in October. They have a new part that they had completed on the CERN, and the CERN, this is what it really is. It's in Revelations, Revelation 9. It's the pit where the beast comes out of. It's a portal. Now, they act like they're doing some type of scientific stuff with the CERN. They're nothing but conjuring demons, opening up portals, and bringing in things that they should not bring into this world. You know, God is, we obviously know we live in different dimensions, right? Like there's different dimensions and levels of realms in this world, and we're not supposed to be in all of them. Neither should we be tampering with them. Just like, for example, you should never play with a spirit board, because you're opening up a channel, a doorway to, you know, fallen angels and evil spirits. The CERN is a very similar kind of thing. It is a giant portal. And God has made these different levels and realms because He wants it to be separate. He's protecting us. He's protecting the earth from some of the evil things in some of these other realms. You know, like the demons. But, you know, with them opening up the doors, messing with this CERN, they are actually taking away some of the protection and shielding God has put in these different realms. And God's allowing it. Listen, they're not more powerful than God. So I hate when people are thinking that, oh, I hope that goes that way. I hope God wins. I think they have this and that. Listen, there is no man, no devil, no fallen angel, nothing more powerful than God. Do not think that they are more powerful than God. Some people seem to get that and have asked me that, and it's just like, no, listen, you have to understand the power of God. God is the most powerful one. He is not going to allow them to be more powerful or to change the will in which He has already put out for the world. Now, yes, things have been tampered and tainted, and creation has went astray, but God has given a chance through Jesus Christ, His Son, which is God, as a sacrifice to get us back, to redeem us, so we can go to heaven, and we can go and have a chance to be with Him with eternity like He originally had planned for. He cleaned it up. But with that being said, we are not robots. God did not make us to be robots. We are in the image of Him. We have been given free will to do these things as we please, choose Him or not. It's just like being in a relationship with someone. You don't want to be in a relationship with a robot, someone who's forced to love you. You want them to love you because they want to love you. Well, it's the same with God. Where do you think we get that feeling and that love from? And that, you know, the image. We are made in His likeness and His image. He wants us to choose. He wants us to choose Him. He's giving everyone a chance, even those evil Luciferian people up there, you know, that have done horrible and despicable things to children, you know, even, you know, all of them. He would forgive them all if they turned to Him and really want it. You have to understand that the plan is going to have to go. He's going to allow them to do things because of free will. You know, like I remember one of the first visions I'd ever seen, and this was actually this year. You know, I was in deep prayer with God, and, you know, we're always so quick to ask Him for stuff and ask Him to make us feel better. And yes, we need it. Yeah, like, He wants us to come and ask. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I've done that so much, maybe more than the average Christian, because it's been a wild ride for me in this world so far. You know, and I thank Him so much, and some days I just want to, you know, thank Him, and I asked Him when I was in deep prayer and, like, meditation, that, like, you know, what's on your mind, God? You know, and I think this was back, like, around March, if I'm not mistaken. It was a while back. But, you know, I want to know what's on His mind. I think that's the first time in my life I've ever asked God, you know, what's on your mind? What's in your heart right now? what's happening with his spirit, like how he's feeling about this world right now. I was just so curious. I want to know, because obviously he knows everything on my mind. He's been working on me for the longest, and oh man. Whew. Sometimes I'm like, how can you even put up with me, Lord? You know? But it was just like mind-blowing to see the things that a split imagery came to my mind suddenly that he showed me. And it was, you know, this is kind of graphic, I guess, you know, to say. And I saw children of all different ages. Some were alive, some were not alive no longer, and you could tell. A lot of the ones that are alive were in agony and suffering. Some were missing limbs. They had horrific wounds. Like, these were inflicted from someone inflicted this upon these children, like torture. It was like some of the most horrific thing I have ever seen. Nothing on TV could give me these kind of, this was just like, I've never seen something like this before. And it was just a couple seconds images of these children. I could just smell, like I could feel and smell this feeling of like death in the air and heaviness in the air. And these children were suffering and crying, the ones that were still alive. And I just remember, you know, that broke me down. I don't really cry easy. I mean, to some things, I guess we all have that emotional point, but I'm emotionally pretty resistant to stuff. You know, I've watched all kinds of movies. It's sad, but I just broke down in tears like never before, to the point where my nose was stuffy. I couldn't even hardly, I was almost going to have an asthma attack. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was just like, you know, why, God? I was crying out to him. I was just like, why? I'm like, why? Oh my gosh. He said, this is what I'm feeling right now. I am crying right now. These are my children. All my children down here. They're suffering. They are, you know, like all these things that are being done to them around the world are mostly by these Luciferians. They are doing this to these children, you guys. It was just something I could not, barely phantom for that second, that this is what God is like, just a glimmer of what he is seeing. I can't imagine what God has to see each day. Glory and praise and honor to God. It's just unbelievable, though. You know, it just hurt my heart. I felt like my heart just broke in half. And then I got angry, you know. Then I started feeling this hot rush of anger, like, why? Why are you allowing this to even happen to these? Why? And God said, I'm angry too. But he said, you know, things, there's still more to happen like this, more to come to him like this. You know, it's free will. He's giving everyone a fair chance. But with that being said, I'm like, well, these children are suffering. These children are dying. Some of these are dead. He said, and this just gave me a newfound peace. He said, they're with me right now. Those are the ones he showed me. They're with me. He said, they're right here with me. You know, that was a warming feeling to know they're with him. They're not suffering no more. You know, they don't even remember. He's wiped away those tears from their eyes. They're at peace and rest. He said, yes, there is still more to come like that. You know, but it was just, it's just unbelievable to think. Mostly children have suffered in this world. And he said most of heaven is full of children. Heaven's really more created for children. We have to be childlike in our faith even to get in there, you know. But it was just, blew me away that, you know, there's not that many adults in heaven. There's more children than anything. That was one of the most just eye-opening feelings. And then I started, you know, I don't know, I'm young. I was just like, God, I'm like a kid. I'm really like a kid to him, you know. And he said, read Jeremiah. That's what he told me. Jeremiah. This one word came to mind, and I knew he meant read it. It was Jeremiah. And I've never read the book of Jeremiah, really got into it or even read the beginning. I've just read little bits and pieces, like a lot of us have, just pieces of it. Like, the Bible's a study, a lifelong study. But reading that, you know, Jeremiah said God had formed him in the womb and gave him the gifts and anointed him with certain gifts already. And that, told him, do not say you are young. Because that's exactly what I told God. But God, I'm too young. He wants to use me for certain things, like speaking. And I'm just like, oh man, me? Are you sure? Are you, you know, me out of all people? But, you know, he said not to say that. And then he gave me the words that I need to say. And yeah, I'm not no public speaker. I'm not the best. I have horrible stage fright, guys. I'm actually, in person, I'm social, but I'm relatively shy. Yeah, I am. Feel like I got a load of problems sometimes, but, you know, I give it all up to God, and he helps me sort through things. I'm definitely not the same person I was growing up, that's for sure. You look back at how much time has passed and how much has actually happened in your life. how much you've changed. It's really amazing to see the progress that God has really helped me with. But I just wanted to share that. You know, I've had some other interesting dreams lately about Jeffrey Epstein and Obama, and about these children. And I saw pictures, like a court case. They have this photographs of these kids. I don't know. There's so much that's going to be unveiled in the future, guys. Keep your eyes open. And trust in God with all your heart. Yeah, some things are going to be horrific to see, disheartening to see, hard to see. I mean, it's just like, not everything is going to be like roses and sweet fragrances and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's just, this world's, it's been happening, but it's going to be exposed. There's nothing really new under the sun. It's just been hidden from the majority of people. And I feel like most people want to hide their eyes and put their head in the sand, just like with what's going on with, you know, these, I say the word, I'll get my video taken down, but, you know, with all this, the syringe, get the syringe, and all these mandates. And, you know, I went to the ER and they were like, are you I don't want to say, you know, have you had, and I was like, no. And they're like, you need to stand outside then until we can test you to make sure you don't have it. I'm like, are you serious? Like, no. And I refused the test. Guys, refuse that test. That's all I gotta say. Do not get that swab. I don't know what's on, I'm not gonna say I don't know what's on that swab. I have a very good idea of what's on that swab from research. I do not want that in my nose and touching near my brain. You know, and you have the right. She was telling me, you have to, or you can't come inside. You have to get this. I said, by law, I have the right to refuse a test like that. I came in here and I pulled up my shirt and I had like huge rashes. I said, I have hives. That cold doesn't give you hives. Okay, this is an allergic reaction that could kill me. Like, it was the stupidest thing. And I refused it. This nurse stormed out real mad at me, left me to sit in this chair out front. The doctor comes out and he said, okay, I understand that you don't want that. I recommend it, but I understand. Because by law, they cannot refuse treatment. So he brought me into a room, got me all set up, and still did that. Still took care of me. You have the right to refuse. Don't. And it's so sad because she got so mad with me about, you know, not getting. I said, well, you have a mask on, and if you are obviously taken that VACC, you know what I mean, then aren't you protected? You're safe. You're fine. Don't worry about me. That's my own concern of my health and what I want to jeopardize, if that's even the case. It's just crazy how aggressive they are with you about that, you know, and I stand my ground, and I say it nicely. I'm not like being, you know, snarky and whatever. It's just like, come on, you're deceived and you don't know it, but it's like, it does not make sense. If you've had it and you're wearing a mask and a face shield, why are you concerned about me again? Aren't you protected? Aren't you fine? Like, you know, people have that right to choose. It's sad that nurse was so mad. I'm like, she's so deceived. How I wonder how she's going to feel when she finds out this was it was all a lie. And when they turn that cern on in October, guys, everyone who's had that injection, you know, the people are like, oh, 5G, oh, 5G. 5G is just the Wi-Fi frequency they're going to use to get out the waves. So they're hooking you up to the 5G with this, you know, syringe needle that you get. But it's being controlled by another machine. There's 2 other machines. CERN is one of them. It's not going to be good. That CERN brings demons in from another realm. You know, it's scary. It's breaking down force fields and shielding stuff that God has placed for a reason, you know, and letting the bowels of hell out. That's what's happening. We are in the end years, the end times, you know, that's like the days of Noah, the end. It's just crazy what's happening and what they're releasing. Now, I'm not trying to like it's all bad. No, not everything's all bad. There is going to be some beautiful things coming in the future as well. There's a beautiful wealth transfer that God has set up for his selected, you know, followers, you know, God's remnant. Now, I advise you guys get some Iraqi dinar. There is going to be a transfer of wealth in the future, and, you know, a time for revival and to save as many souls as we can, because when people find out what was actually put into that injection that they got for this common cold, I mean, oh, they're going to be so upset. I mean, I feel like it's already starting to happen. There's so many people dying from it. Like in our church alone, like we all have family members that have taken it, and it seems like every other week we hear of someone who has died or now is in the hospital because of that shot. They're not dying of the AKA cold. They're dying of this. I don't even know anyone who's actually died of the cold. They're dying of the injection that you get that's supposed to keep you safe from it. For when you have a 99% survival chance. It's kind of strange. I mean, if you look at the actual science, well, a lot of it's censored, but even the little pieces that aren't, 99% survival rate. Oh, I'm sorry, 96% survival rate. That's a really good survival rate, guys. That's really good. I mean, if the weather is only 70%, 80% accurate, and they tell you tomorrow there's a 95% chance it's going to be a sunny, beautiful day, are you going to still bring your umbrella? I mean, I don't think so. I think not. I would hope not. That'd be kind of weird. and someone would be like, why you got an umbrella, guys? It's like, it's been sunny. It's sunny all week. Well, it's the same kind of thing. What's going on? And it's deception. And it's just heartbreaking when I see people deceived. And I urge you guys to talk to people if they're willing to listen. People want answers. People want to know. A lot of people know something's really, really wrong, whether they believe in God or not. And this is the time and the chance now to speak on it and get that out there. Get the message out there. God wants us to speak. It's the hour and the time to speak more than ever. Because things that are to come, it's going to get bad, really bad, but it's also going to get really good. And then, yeah, it's going to go back to really, really bad because revelation will continue and things have to happen accordingly to the plan. But the cool part is God has allowed us to see all the answers to the test when you just read your Bible. It's pretty cool that we get to see that information and pray to Him and work on your relationship with Him daily. You know, He has a plan and a calling for you, especially in these last years. You know, we were born in a time where prophets and, you know, a lot of other people in history in the Bible would have loved to see this time or being told the things that we are being told. It's up right now. They're up there rooting for us. The ones in heaven, you know, you have them up there and they're watching us and they're rooting for us to make it through. But it's coming. Good things are coming. Bad things. I mean, there's a lot of things coming. It's like a bittersweet effect. But God wins in the end. So that's the most amazing part of it all, is to already know the end before it happens, so we don't have to be afraid and we don't have to worry, but we just have to be strong and get through each day and just, you know, trust in God with all our heart as we grow with Him and save as many souls as we can, bring them to Him. The gold, we're going after the gold souls, which are souls. That's what God wants us to do. That's what this wealth transfer is for. That's why not everyone knows about it. It's for selected individuals, I would say, in a sense. They're the ones that have ears to hear. And a lot of people, even Christians, don't have ears to hear. I have told so many people about this Iraqi dinar. And, like, I think only one person has actually got some out of, like, maybe 7 or 8 people I've told. Oh, yeah, that one person was my mom, by the way. But she doesn't even know nothing about that. And I just brought it to her attention and said, hey, do you want to, you want to invest a little? And she goes, yeah, why not? She just did it on, like, blind faith completely. Didn't even hear about the logistics or any of the information or none of that. She just went for it. And that's pretty awesome. It's going to be beautiful things in years to come. That's for sure. We're getting ready for all the stuff that's going to happen. But, man, it's really exciting. I hope you guys listen and hope you guys get some Iraqi dinar, man.